Thank you all so much. About a month ago, we were through the Oversight Committee Subcommittee on Federal Law Enforcement. Me and alongside our colleagues on that committee were able to force a vote to pass a motion to subpoena the Department of Justice to release all of the files associated with the Epstein case, of course, unredacted and complete. We know that since then we've seen a small trickle in of papers and files that, of course, revealed very little new, but was again another attempt to obstruct justice, to distract from what we are here to do, and to keep, of course, prolong this out. But what we saw today in listening to these incredibly brave women who were once young girls, who were victimized repeatedly and have been repeatedly victimized since then because of profound levels of just injustice, profound levels of failure, systemic failure at every single level. They are here to remind us that the reason why we passed this motion, the reason why we had, even if it was just a little bipartisan support at the time, was because our reason for being here is to make sure that whether it is the government of the United States or princes or elected officials from other countries or wealthy billionaires, that no one should be above the law. That if we are going to be a country of laws, that they must be equal, applied to every single person, but that also we have a responsibility to restore these victims. It was the government itself that failed these women. It's the government itself right now that is keeping them from the justice, from the healing, and from the peace that they need and that they deserve. We are here not to add on to the sensationalism of a case that has received global news and global attention, but to recenter that at the heart of this are human beings. At the heart of this are women, girls, now generations of girls beneath them. Though we were able to hear from a number of women today, we know that there were hundreds of women who were involved in this case, hundreds of women, many of whom are unnamed, but hundreds of women who were victimized, who were sexually abused and then re-victimized by the obstruction from the government. And behind them are millions of girls who have watched how our country, how society handles cases of sexual abuse. They have watched the rich and the powerful get off. They have watched, even in death, them be protected. And we are here as oversight Democrats to say that the time to step up, the time to push, to fight, to ensure justice is now, and today is why we are here to renew our calls, not just for an official hearing, as Representative Ayanna Pressley has called for, an official hearing on the books within our committee. Though we are thankful for the roundtable that we had today, we affirm our calls for that. We also reaffirm our calls for the Department of Justice to hand over immediately all of the files within its custody, not just to ourselves, but also a reminder that, as we learned today, some of the victims themselves have not been able to access their own files. So we want to remind the press, we want to remind our country and the population that these women are still seeking justice for themselves, that they're still seeking healing for themselves, and to the extent that we are able to continue to keep our eyes on what the ultimate prize is, that we will do that, that we will continue to pursue justice in a way that does no more harm to these women and does no more harm to any of the victims, not just of Epstein, but of sexual assault across our country. Thank you. With that, actually, I'll be handing it off to our colleague from Texas, Representative Jasmine Crockett.